Hello, lovelies. Good day and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwatosin. In case you are seeing my channel for the first time, and to all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. Thank you so much for always stopping by to watch my videos. Please, if you are seeing this channel for the first time, consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next I upload new video on this channel. So, in today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful Ankara and monochrome maxi dress for kids, for teenagers, for adults. It is basically the same process. The only thing that differ is the measurement. And without talking too much, let us jump right into the video. For this project, we'll be needing our monochrome fabric as well as our Ankara, and the basic measurements required are the full length, the bust, the chest point, the shoulder. So we are going to be measuring our bust and then we are going to be adding just 4 inches allowance and we'll fold that into 4. After folding that into 4, you are going to leave your zipper allowance at the back, then you measure the shoulder, the armhole, you connect, draw your armhole curve, then you measure your neckline. In this case, I used 3, that's 6 on fold, and then I used neck depth of 2 for the back and 3 for the front. Then you proceed to cutting that out, and they are both round neck. For the length of this yoke, I used the bust point and I added just 1 inch allowance. So proceed to cutting out the neckline, cut out the armhole as well, and basically that is it. Then snap your finger, and before you know it, your lining is cut. Don't mind me, guys. So you're going to be placing that on lining and then you cut it out. The exact measurement is just to place it on the lining and then you cut it out. The next thing to do is to cut the Ankara part. So you are going to be folding your fabric on bias, like in a triangular form, like on fold of 2, like when you want to cut a 90-degree flea, and then you are going to place that yoke the way I'm placing it. We are trying to get the length now. So you are going to measure the length. For this length is actually 40, but towards the side is 36. So I'm going to be marking 41 at the front, and towards the side I'm going to be marking 37. Then you see the way I placed my yoke. I left excess at the front because it has one big pleat at the middle of the front, and then another big pleat at the middle of the back, a kissing pleat. So you're just going to mark that out, and then you can take out your yoke and you proceed to cutting that out. You will place that on another fabric that you fold on bias and then you cut it out because we are going to be needing two, one for the front and one for the back. After doing this, you proceed to cutting your pockets. For the pocket, I used length of 12 and then breadth of 14 or fold of 2 now, breadth of 7 and then length of 12. The next thing to do is you are going to measure the lower parts of the Ankara because there's going to be like a strip of monochrome on top of it. So I measured what I have there, and what I have I multiplied it by 2 because my Ankara is on fold of 2 by measuring. Then I made the length 4 inches. The next to do now is to start sewing, and to start sewing you are going to turn your half length first. You are going to face your lining to the right side. You turn the neckline, the armhole, and then the sides. The only place you will not turn is the down. For the back, you are going to repeat the same process. Turn your neckline, your armhole, your zip side, as well as your shaping side. The only place you're not going to turn is your down. So I took that to my sewing machine and then I turned. After turning, this is what I have. I flipped the right side. I flipped the front to the right side. I pressed it, but I didn't flip the back because I'm still going to use the back to turn the shoulder. So I left it like that for now. The next thing to do is to attach the piece I cut for the down of the Ankara to the Ankara. So I'm going to face the right side of the monochrome to the wrong side of the Ankara. I'm going to sew that down, then I'll flip it over to the right side when I'm done sewing, and I'll match it down from one side to the other. When I was done, this is it, and this is what the wrong side is looking like. This is a fold of 2. The next to do is to put a notch at the middle for the upper part of the Ankara. I'm going to put a notch at the middle of the yoke as well, and then I'll pin the Ankara to the yoke, making sure that the notch is on the notch. When I'm done doing this, I'll sew down the Ankara on the yoke. I'll start from one side towards the middle. I'll see that when I get to the middle, there's going to be excess, like 4 inches excess on each side. So I'm going to pleat that excess to the front, to the left, and then I'll pleat it to the right. You guys get what I'm saying, so that I can have this one big kissing pleat. Then when I was done with the front panel, this is what I have. I'm going to attach my back yoke now to the front yoke by turning the shoulder. Have it at the back of your mind that armhole has to be on armhole so that you don't mix it up. Armhole has to be on armhole and right side has to face right side when you are doing this. So you are going to put the front into the back just like I did, and then you will sew the shoulder line. While you are sewing, don't forget to slant your hand towards the armhole side, from the neckline to the armhole side. The normal way you slant shoulder, slant it as well when you are sewing it. And when I was done doing this, the next thing to do is to press it so that the neckline can now, the lining can gum to the fabric, because I added hemming gum when I was turning. Next to do is to fold the back panel, I mean the Ankara for the back panel. Now fold it into two equal half, and then you are going to tear it open for like 10 to 15 inches, not too long, because that part is where the zip is going to stay. This dress is going to have zip. So after then, you are going to sew from where you cut to like 2 inches upward, just to create channel where the zip is going to stay. And when you are done doing that, you are going to attach the back to the back yoke. To do this, have it at the back of your mind that the right side has to face right side so that you don't get confused. So just sew from the armhole towards the zip side, and don't forget that you are going to have excess for you to pleat. Do that to the other side. Make sure your pleat is kissing, like one should be facing the other. And after that, this is what I have. And in case you don't want yours to have this, it's still the same process. The only thing is you're not going to put excess for pleating. You're just going to cut the exact yoke measurement. And this method is the same for kids, for teenagers, and for adults. So when I was done doing that, I proceeded to fixing my zip. And when I was done fixing my zip, this is what my dress is looking like. The next thing to do is to mark the part where the cape is going to stay. So from the middle, you can easily identify the middle now with the help of the pleat. Where the pleat is the middle. Just mark where you want the cape to stay. So I marked mine to the left, and I marked it to the right. Then I just checked on the armhole line to be sure that my marking is on the same line, and of course is on the same line. So I proceeded to marking it at the back. Then you're going to measure that you're marking. Whatever you measure is going to be the length of the cape. So for the part that is going to dangle on a arm, I want it to be 9 inches. That's 4.5 at the front and 4.5 at the back. So I folded my 9 inches on the tape roll. Then I proceeded to measuring. Just look at the way I placed my tape roll. That is the same way you are going to place yours. And on the other side as well, I'm going to skip 9 inches. Then from the 9 inches. When I say nine, whatever you have at that point, you're going to add nine to it. You skip that, and then you measure it to the back, the way you want the cape to stay on the body. So I proceeded to marking at the back as well. You know that we have not marked for the other side of the back. So whatever number you have there, just put it at the back of your mind. At that point, I had 41, and then you are going to mark the other side of the back, and from your 41 is where you will start measuring. So from 41, I measured the other side of the back as well, and then I had 48. So I proceeded to cutting a piece that is 48, plus I added 1 inch allowance because I'm going to turn it on both sides. So I proceeded to cutting 49 and 10 inches wide, 49 inches long and 10 inches wide. At this point, I went to turn that piece, and after turning, I have 48 inches long and then 4.5 inches wide. The next thing to do is to get the middle of this piece. So I folded it into two equal halves, and then I could locate the middle. Then I pin middle to the middle of the dress facing up, because I'm going to flip it down after sewing. So just proceed to pinning that, and then you sew from the armhole side towards the middle and then towards the other side of the armhole. I mean armhole to the left and armhole to the right. So after doing that, you are going to mark 9 inches that you will skip. That's the part that is going to dangle on her hand. That is going to serve as the sleeve now. From the 9 inches, you start from the armhole at the back and then you sew towards the zip. It is that simple. And then you flip it over and that's it. When I was done, this is what I have for the cape. At this point, our dress is like 80% ready, and the next thing to do now is to shape. So to shape, I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side, making sure that the right side is facing the right side, and then from our shoulder line I'll measure our half length, which is 15. I added 2 inches allowance. That is where the pocket is going to stay. The wideness of the pocket is 6 inches. Then I measured her armhole. Her armhole is 16. Then I proceeded to shape it. So you will sew from the armhole to where the pocket starts. You will skip the pocket mouth and then you will sew downward as well. This dress is actually for a teenager that is 14 years old. But like I said earlier, for an adult, for kids, for teenager, it's still the same process. And when I was done doing all of these things I said, this is what my dress is looking like. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning of this video till this point. If you have any question, please don't forget to ask me in the comment section. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I made for our little sister that is 7 years old as well. Thank you so much for all your comments and likes on my videos. I see all of them and I really appreciate them. They mean a lot to me and I don't take it for granted. Please, if you can, share my video as much as possible amidst your soulmates. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.